Judge Reinhold as an action star. Before I did, just bear with me. For anyone that wants to request any type of videos like this is a paid request from Steven. Thank you so much for your kindness and your patience. Thank you so much. If anyone wants to request a movie review, re-review, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, random thoughts, whatever the case may be, PayPal is the best way to do it. I do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in an info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. With that said, Hostage Train, aka Crackerjack 2, yes, stars Judge Reinhold, which he's been in action films. The Beverly Hills Cop films, for example, are action films with comedy in them. But he wasn't the star, and the character he played fit well with him as an actor, his personality, it fit. The bit role he had in Gremlins, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, these roles fit him. What does not fit him is him trying to star as this gruff, tough, talking like this, action, serious persona. Thinking he's John McClane, thinking he's Steven Seagal, Casey Ryback. Judge Reinhold doesn't fit. And maybe if they played it up as a parody, maybe they played it up for laughs, tongue-in-cheek. Maybe if there was just more zaniness, if you're trying to be serious, so it could be on a Samurai Cop level. Or Hawkeye, not the Avengers Marvel character. I'm talking about there's this film called Hawkeye, which that was fun and goofy. Bad, sure, but it was funny. Very entertaining to me. If you don't know, look up my review of it. This is none of that. It's very dull, very boring, very shitty. And the only reason I'm sure anyone would ever watch this is two things. Number one, if you remember Crackerjack 1, which was a film starring Thomas Ian Griffith, who I like in films a la Excessive Force. That deserves a Blu-ray in the U.S. I know there's a Blu-ray overseas, but come on. That film should get some release in the U.S., a better release. Anyway, but that's a good film, Excessive Force. Crackerjack, kind of Die Hard in the Mountains, wasn't great. But I do remember it being better than this. Because Thomas Ian Griffith, you do buy as an action star. I believe Christopher Plummer was your villain, and you do buy him more as a villain. So, it's not great, but it seems great compared to this. There is a Crackerjack 3, but it has nothing to do with these two. None of the same characters, none of the same actors. None of the same actors in this are from Crackerjack 1. Actor-wise, no. But Judge Reinhold, I guess, is playing the same character Thomas Ian Griffith played, because they're both called Jack Wilde. Crackerjack 3, from what I understand, has not even that character. I think it's like Oliver Gruner as a villain, Leo Rossi's in a bit part. There's another... Again, haven't seen it, but I've heard that's even worse. I could believe it, because it could always be worse. So Judge Reinhold, like I said, stars in this movie. I would love to know what in the hell possessed them to think that Judge Reinhold would work as the tough, gruff action hero. Maybe they thought it's unique casting, so maybe people would see it out of curiosity. And I can appreciate that to a point where, yeah, give that person a shot. And hell, back in the day, I'm sure I saw a trailer to this and go, whoa, he's in an action film? Okay, I'm curious about it, because that's a different, unique bit of casting. Should have stayed that way. Because sometimes the proof is in the pudding, and sometimes You know, if it doesn't smell like a duck or look like a duck or quack like a duck, maybe it ain't a fucking duck. Maybe it don't belong there. So yes, Judge Reinhold is playing the same character as Thomasine Griffith in the first movie. Only they changed the background, the backstory of the character. Because from what I remember in the first movie, his wife and maybe his kids were killed in a bomb. And the guy who's the villain did that and he got revenge. Here, he's with a new girl played by Carol Alt. And 8 years ago, just his wife died in the explosion. And I believe they used the footage that's the same footage of the wife dying in a car explosion that was in the first movie. But they don't mention any kids. And now they're saying, well, this other guy actually did the killing. So they retconned what was in the first movie. I'm sitting there going, why even go through all this? And why even make him the same character? Because, it was called Crackerjack 2 in other places, but here it was just called Hostage Train. And hell, there's been sequels where it's in name only, so you might as well just done that, and, well, whatever. So, yeah, it changes the first film's backstory, so, yeah, that woman was killed, but I think the character had kids that died in the first movie, and not just the wife. I could be wrong. It's been forever since I've seen the first Crackerjack. But it starts off with Judge Reinhold hiding somewhere in a warehouse, and the good guys and bad guys are fighting each other, and he's just kind of staring. One bad guy's ready to shoot a cop, so he kind of shoots, and the guy falls. The bad guys see him, he jumps, and the most obvious stunt double you could tell, it's not Judge Reinhold, falls as this explosion happens, and he falls into safety. His stunt double, that is. There's a bit of shooting. Not much for Judge Reinhold, because his character doesn't do much of jack shit. He's one of the most ineffective heroes in a while, especially in these Die Hard NA, which I like. I'm a sucker for that genre. Love Die Hard 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cliffhanger. I liked Under Siege 2. I liked Sudden Death, other than the obvious Van Damme doubles in most of the fight scenes. I like even films a la Deadly Outbreak with Jeff Speakman. That's a fun direct-to-video action film that's similar to Die Hard. There's one called Christmas Rush, aka Breakaway, with Dean Cain and Eric Roberts, which I remember liking. Doesn't mean they're all great, but a lot of them are fun. Passenger 57 was fun. This one, if you want to see Die Hard in a train, just watch Under Siege 2. That's, I thought, a pretty decent one. Pretty good one. I always liked Under Siege 2. I know some people badmouth it. I liked it. This ending is ridiculous, where Seagal's outrunning the train. But, I mean, I appreciate the spectacle. I appreciate the money's on the screen. It's goofy fun. I like it. I haven't seen it in a while. So after this, all the cliches, all the tropes are there. You have the lead who's with his girlfriend, but he's got this stuff back in the day, so he's obsessed with this bad guy, and he can't move on to a better life until he gets this bad guy, catches him or kills him. Trauma from back to the day, in this case, his wife dying in a car bomb, which is funny, because again, it's footage from the first movie, but even in the first movie it was funny, because the wife went, and then blows up. Like, she's in the car window, imagine the car window was like, what's your deal? Like, and it's like, it blows up. Just the weird look, like, oh, like what? So, but they did that for the first movie. So I'm like, you sure you don't just want to reshoot it? Which would have been easy. Just cast a woman, put her in a car, and maybe not have it where she does this funny woo. Just again, just take a car. All you do is a flash anyway, fade to white pretty much. You mean you can't find a woman, put her in a car, and just go. Just have her like, no. I mean, all you need is a car. She doesn't even need lines. Like, you could have reshot that in less than, within a day. You could have shot that in an hour. But hey, what do I know? But the tropes, you have the captain who's a dickhead. You have the lead who's against authority, does things his own way. A lot of the typical cliches. So pretty much his girlfriend, played by Tara Alt, is going to go on her job where she's going to kind of deal with these wealthy people on this train. Judge Reinhold, on the other hand, he's on his old-ass computer, because again, this was 1997, this came out, where this big old, like not a floppy disk, but kind of jams it right into the computer, like it was a giant T-card. That's how it used to be back in the day with computers. You have these giant fucking things just slam into it. And this bad guy comes up behind him, and he throws coffee in the guy's face, hits the guy with a chair, which they repeat. They have the shots repeated, so he hits the guy twice, like, and throws the guy, and he's in his underwear, and you see his fucking bulge. If you want to see the outline of Judge Reinhold's dick, you can watch this scene and have fun. And, I'm like, do I need to see Judge Reinhold fighting in his underwear with his dick ready to pop out? Not really. Okay. I don't want to be the judge of his pecker. He gets out of the way while the bad guy's a knife, and the guy electrocutes himself into the computer. Because he tried to stab Judge, but Judge got out of the way. He finds his phone number, he looks up on the computer, finds the place, this warehouse, there's a dead guy, finds his name, and goes, oh, that name was one of the people that was supposed to be on the train with his I think you find out it's his fiancée, his girlfriend. And Hans Becker, of course, is a die-hard rip-off, shitty one at that. So, of course, the main bad guy... Well, he's not even really the main bad guy, you kind of find out. But Hans, like Hans Gruber, here's Hans Becker. At a lot of times these films, at least of the later 90s, 2000s, they need like a female henchwoman. Pretty much them, and then this guy who you think is one of the hostages, but is really one of the bad guys. This guy named Mr. Smith. And not Hugo Weaving. They want these wealthy people to come into this room, give their password, or one guy doesn't do it, so he has a password like in the base of his tooth, so they pull it out. Dude, that's a weird way to keep your password, but okay. In order to get money out of their account into this bank, and then but keep the money and then non-traceable. At least that's how they put it. So it's all to, steal these guys' money by using their passwords. There you go. There's your big plan. Judge gets this buddy of his who's fucking this hot chick. You do get to see some titties. It's like this kind of nerdy guy with glasses, but he's fucking this hot chick. And he's like, what are you doing? I mean, I'd be pissed too, because, the chick was pretty good looking. Titties and all. Then they go on a helicopter. Judge Reinhold drops down. Part of me is wondering, I wonder if this is footage from another movie, but who knows. I guess when the train passes by this tunnel, there were charges, so it blows up and the tunnel collapses to block the path from anybody coming in. But it's really bad, fake explosions. Like someone would do like After Effects, like really bad explosions. And then pretty much Judge Reinhold just fucks around, sneaks around, fucks around, sneaks around some more while these bad guys get passwords from these wealthy assholes. The asshole captain thinks he knows what's going on and send in the people. Well, what about jurisdiction? Fuck the Canadians. It's like the one line I remember him. Fuck the Canadians. And Judge Reinhold was able to get to the hostages and sneak in to see them. So I'm like, okay, now sneak out with the hostages. Sneak out. But apparently no. I don't know why is it that Judge Reinhold can sneak in, but he can't sneak anybody out. And I'm like, can't you figure out like a trap to make? So when they do come in, I'm sitting there going, okay, if the bad guys come in and Judge just shoot the gun and you kill them. Or there's nobody out there, sneak people out. Obviously, they don't want to sneak some out because if the bad guys come in, they go, where are those people? But he sneaks in and, you know, sees his girlfriend, then sneaks out. He kills a couple bad guys, you know, eventually. He throws gasoline on one and punches the second guy, and the second guy had a cigar, and it falls down on the guy that had the gasoline on, and he gets on fire. I swear that the bad guys kill their own people more than Judge Reinhold kills bad guys. Because yeah, Judge Reinhold kills one guy at the beginning, but then the bad guy kills one of his own because they're wounded. And yeah, Judge kills, he kills one there, he throws a knife at one, he breaks a guy's neck, but then that guy killed the guy on fire so that he would stop, you know, screaming. And then Mr. Smith fucks over non-Hans Gruber, Hans Becker. Here's an explosive for you. You son of a bitch, you screwed me over. And the guy throws a bomb, and I think one of the guys dies. And like Mr. Smith and the henchwoman are here, and one of the bad guys comes in and is like, I heard a gunshot. Do you want to hear another? And the lady shoots the other bad guy. And then later on, Mr. Smith shoots the henchwoman. I'm like, God damn, the bad guys are killing each other more than fucking the hero is. I swear the bad guys have a bigger body count killing their own than Jack Wilde, Judge Reinhold has in killing the bad guys. Jesus. But that's the thing, it's so boring. Not a whole lot fucking happens. The location when they're inside the tunnel is just almost the same looking backdrop that looks very dreary and looks very, you know, cheap, because it's cheap to film it that way. So there's no scope. The few explosions. There's a bit where the captain sends these people to this train, but it's a trap. So it blows up and the helicopter blows up. And you see some models get blown up. So there's some practical with the model train and stuff blowing up. But there's not a whole lot of gunplay. There's not a whole lot of fisticuffs. Just what the fuck's Judge Reinhold going to do? To backtrack, again, he throws gasoline on one guy, punches another, and that guy's cigar actually accidentally hits this guy, burns. And then the Hans Becker comes and shoot that guy. He's on fire. He can't do it, so he shoots it. So that guy finishes that bad guy off. Judge Reinhold punches a guy and breaks his neck. He throws a knife and it hits a guy. The computer guy that gets the money transferred onto, something about this disc, and Judge just punches him. But actually, I think the henchwoman strangles that guy, so that's another bad guy killed by another bad woman in this case. So at the end, the bad guys kill themselves more than the fucking good guy does. And Judge Reinhold is just miscast. He is terribly miscast. He cannot pull off this gruff voice. This, it's a blast from your past. He doesn't have the facial toughness. Sometimes it feels it's like his eyes are bulging out, and his face. You don't buy him as intimidating. You don't buy him as a badass. You don't buy him in fight scenes. He can't fight. He can't overpower people. His tough guy voice is forced, very fucking forced. I mean, it was a great movie, but from what I remember, Steve Guttenberg. Yes, Steve Guttenberg was in, what was it, Airborne? Which wasn't, from what I remember, that good of a movie. But I think even Steve Guttenberg did a better job at trying to be a badass, tough guy than fucking Judge Reinhold. I like Judge Reinhold, but this was a total miscasting. Total miscasting. All the rest that happens is Judge has the Hans Becker guy, but he gets knocked out because another bad guy hits him. They tie him up with fucking duct tape and a bomb. Mr. Smith screws the other bad guys over. That's why Hans... Oh, there's a bomb. A second bomb he has. There's an explosion. Water comes in. Judge Reinhold gets out of his restraints. And then he's like fighting the guy who killed his wife, but we can't see it because the water splashing is like this in front of the camera. Like, so then we can't really see much of the fight. And then Judge Reinhold throws the bomb and it explodes, but you still see this water rushing in front. I'm like, I can't see what's going on. So like the guy who killed your wife, he should be like the center bad guy, now he's dead, and you barely saw the death, and it's just anticlimactic. Oh, I forgot. One of the hostages knows about trains, so he tells Judge Reinhold, if you find a phone thing, even if there's no phone, hit the wires together and do Morse code. Which is funny, he says he knows Morse code, then when he gets to it, he says, like, he doesn't know Morse code, but I guess he really did know Morse code. And then when the captain and all these other people look at the trains, they hear this, and thankfully there's a child there, a boy, that the only reason they set up before, earlier in the film, to be in this area, is that he could wake up and hear and goes, that's Morse code. And the little boy just happens to know Morse code to tell them so that they could come there at the end of the movie. Of course, Mr. Smith and the henchwoman at this point have to kill some of their own bad guys. They take the girlfriend as a hostage. Just gotta rip off Die Hard. So gotta take non-Holly McClane. Or Holly Gennaro. And then the bad guy kills his own henchwoman. I don't even know why. Why don't you wait till after you get the shit? That way it's 2-on-2. Wait till after you get the shit you need. But no, just people fucking stupid. The girlfriend throws this thing. Judge hits his button. It's a bomb. It's a distraction. Judge and this guy get into a fight. Judge gets his ass hit by this like 60-year-old fucking old guy. Until ultimately they do another Die Hard where the bad guy has the woman and, you know, ready to pull her down. I'm like, is there a watch? I hope that's not a hostage. No, there's no watch. It's just the guy ultimately loses grip, falls. There's some explosive stuff down there, so explosion rises up, but they're fine. And then she tells about, yeah, wait till the honeymoon. He's like, just no trains. No trains. There comes this stupid, like, goofy, where they show a train and the wedding. Do 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 do. Fuck you. Fuck this piece of shit movie. It is a 3.7 on IMDb. It deserves it. It fucking sucks. Unless you're the most diehard fan of Crackerjack and you need to see the sequels. Or you're the most diehard Judge Reinhold fan and you want to see just how miscast he is. I mean, you could just watch the trailer on YouTube and you'll see how miscast he is. There's barely any action. The few bits of action are very lackluster. It's very slow. The villains are nothing to run home about. It goes through the cliches. There's nothing that fun, campy silliness to it. Judge Reinhold's character barely does anything. I'm serious when I say I think the bad guys kill more of their own than Judge Reinhold does. There are times where he's just kind of sneaking around. It's more about the hostages having to give up their passwords to the fucking bad guys. And again, including the guy who gets his marathon man is his safe moment. And this movie just fucking blows. Blows dogs for quarters. It blows donkey dick. It's a horrible fucking film, man. I mean, when I say that, is it like one of the worst films ever? No, but it's just so goddamn generic and boring. I mean, it's on Tubi and other places if you really need to see it. But I don't think you're going to get much out of it. Judge Reinhold works in Beverly Hills Cop films, but I'm fine with you trying to do... Like, Danny Glover starring in Predator 2 seemed different, and it worked. Danny Glover was wonderful in Predator 2. When Jim Carrey did something like The Truman Show, but more serious. Or even Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Wow, that was really good. Adam Sandler does dramatic role like Uncut Gems. Wow, he really did a good job. So I'm fine with people trying to do something different. But when it fails... well, you get stuff like this. So, take that for you will. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.